There's a part of a man that even he hasn't met yet. But when you touch it, he doesn't just want you, he needs you. Ever noticed how some women don't chase men, don't overgive, don't play a dozen games? And yet somehow they're always on his mind, like a whisper in the back of his thoughts, like a song he can't stop humming but can't quite name. That's not luck, my friends. That's not coincidence. That's power, but not the loud kind. We're talking about inner power, feminine power, the kind that doesn't yell to be noticed because it radiates without asking. Before we dive into what makes this magic possible, do something bold for yourself right now. Press that like button and hit subscribe. Not for me, for you. Because what we're about to unravel could change the way you move through love forever. Hey ladies, imagine this. You're walking through a dense forest, quiet, mysterious, alive, and ahead of you, a wolf, wild, proud, powerful. Most people would try to tame it, cage it, trick it with food, but not you. You stand still, eyes calm, energy open, no need to chase, and slowly it comes closer, drawn not to your performance, but to your presence. That's what happens when a woman learns to work with a man's sexual energy, not manipulate it, but channel it. You see, most of what you've been taught about attracting a man is surface-level nonsense. Smile more, text him first, play hard to get, lower your standards, be chill, be hot, be less, be quieter. And yet, the women who follow those rules often end up exhausted and invisible because those tricks, they don't touch him, not the real him, not the part of him that Carl Jung, yes, the legendary psychologist, spent his life trying to understand, the unconscious, the hidden world inside every man, the place where his deepest desires live, not the shallow kind, the soul-deep kind. There's a force inside a man, sexual energy, yes, but not just about lust or chemistry. It's his life force, his creative fire, his sacred drive. And when that energy finds a woman who knows how to hold it, how to meet it, how to reflect it back without losing herself, he doesn't just want her, he's pulled toward her. He starts dreaming about her, missing her while she's still in the room. He starts looking for reasons to be close because her energy doesn't drain him. It fuels him. You're not here to beg for his love, and you're here to awaken it. Let that sink in for a second. When you learn how to tap into your own sensual, soulful, powerful, feminine energy, you don't chase connection, you magnetize it. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." My friends, the same is true in love. Until you learn how to speak to the part of a man that even he doesn't fully understand, you'll keep getting crumbs and calling it chemistry. But today, that changes, because this isn't about tricks. This isn't about pretending. This is about stepping into the woman you already are and using that energy to create the kind of attraction that goes way beyond physical. So if you're ready to stop shrinking and start shining, stay with me, because what's coming next, it's not pickup, it's poetry. Number one, sexual energy is not lust, it's life force. You're not just attracting his body, you're calling his spirit. Let's make something real clear right now, my friends. Sexual energy is not just about sex. It's not about bodies touching or hormones firing. That's surface stuff, and you were never built for surface. You were built for depth, for meaning, for sacred fire. Carl Jung didn't see libido as dirty, shameful, or shallow. No, he called it life force, the very energy that fuels everything in a person's life. His drive to build, to create, to pursue, to conquer, to connect. So when we're talking about attracting a man, we're not talking about manipulating him into texting back or noticing your new lipstick. We're talking about tapping into the same energy that drives his purpose and making you the center of that current. Let me give you a picture. Imagine a river, wide, wild, unstoppable. That's his sexual energy. Now, most women try to jump in and swim upstream, yelling, "Notice me, love me, pick me," exhausting themselves, fighting against the current, splashing around trying to be impressive. But a woman who knows her power, she doesn't swim, she becomes the riverbank, she guides the flow, she shapes it, not with force, but with form. She holds space for his energy to move, and in doing so, she directs it effortlessly. That's what it means to channel a man's sexual energy. Now, maybe you're wondering, wait, is that even safe? What if I give too much and lose myself? What if he just wants sex and disappears? Let's pause. That fear, that's real. It's what happens when you've only seen sexual energy used destructively, not creatively. You've seen it rushed, misused, objectified, drained. You've seen women used, discarded, forgotten. So, of course, part of you wants to protect yourself. But here's the truth no one told you. When you know how to work with this energy, it doesn't destroy you. It elevates you because you're not giving him your power. You're amplifying his while standing in your own. Denzel said it best. When you stop treating sex like a transaction and start treating it like a transformation, everything changes. This isn't about performance, it's about presence. When you become a woman who understands her own energy, who knows how to feel it, move it, own it, a man can sense it before you even speak. His mind might be elsewhere, his focus scattered, but your presence snaps something awake in him. Not lust, not temptation, something older, something deeper. Because deep down, every man is looking for more than pleasure. He's looking for purpose. And when his energy meets a woman who gives it direction, who gives it meaning, he doesn't just feel turned on, he feels anchored. It's like his soul recognizes you before his ego does. You're not just attractive, you're unforgettable. This is how you move him from distraction to devotion, from chasing dopamine to choosing depth, from wandering through life to wondering how he ever lived without you. And here's what's beautiful. You don't have to do anything fake to get there. No games, no chasing, no pretending to be low maintenance when your soul is high voltage. All you have to do is remember who you are. A woman whose energy isn't small or secondary or an accessory to someone else's story. You are the story. So take a breath and let that land. Because what we're unlocking next, that's where the magic really begins. You've heard of the anima, right? No? Oh, my friend, you're about to meet the part of him that dreams of you before he even knows your name. Stay with me. Number 2, you are the mirror to his anima. She doesn't chase his attention. She awakens his memory of the divine feminine. There's something every woman needs to know about the male psyche, and most never hear it. Inside every man is an image, a blueprint, a dream of the woman who makes him feel whole. Jung called it the anima, the unconscious feminine force within the masculine soul. She's not the woman with the best outfit or the most clever one-liner. She's not even real, not yet. She's a symbol, a memory etched deep in his unconscious. And when you, a real, living, breathing woman, reflect even a piece of that image back to him, he feels like he's known you before, not in his head, but in his bones. You ever notice how a man will be surrounded by stunning women and seem unfazed, and then meet one who walks into the room with no agenda, no act, just a presence, and suddenly he's locked in? That's not about looks, that's about recognition. He's not attracted to what she says, he's magnetized by what she reminds him of, something buried, something sacred. That's the anima in action. That's you touching a part of him he doesn't even have words for. But here's the twist. You can't fake her. You can't package her. You become her by becoming more of yourself. Most women, without realizing it, try to mold themselves into what they think a man wants, shrinking, twisting, softening the edges of their truth. And in doing that, they vanish. Because the anima is not a performance. She's pure essence. She is the woman who listens deeply, speaks symbolically, moves with meaning. She doesn't just occupy space, she shapes it. And when you begin to embody that energy, he doesn't just desire you, he remembers you. Let me give you an image. Imagine you're standing in front of a mirror, but not just any mirror, one that reflects back the part of a man he rarely sees, his vulnerability, his longing, his potential, his ache for something real. You hold that mirror up, not to judge him, not to fix him, but to simply see him. And in that reflection, he finds a version of himself that he loves more in your presence. That's obsession, my friends, the healthy kind, the kind that lasts. You're not here to impress, you're here to activate. So no, don't try to be his type. Be the type that awakens his archetype. Because once you touch that part of him, the sacred feminine in his psyche, he won't just want to be near you. He'll crave to be known by you. And guess what's next? We're going even deeper into the one thing most women overlook, but the rare few master, the art of receptive presence. Trust me, this next part, it changes everything. Stay with me. Number 3, be the space his energy longs to pour into. Don't be the noise. Be the stillness that calls him deeper. We live in a world that rewards noise, hustle harder, talk faster, perform more. But let me tell you something most people will never say out loud. True feminine power doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to chase. It doesn't even need to prove. It just is. And when it's real, a man feels it. He might not understand it. He might not be able to explain it to his friends, but something in him slows down around you. Something opens. Something leans in. That's the power of receptive presence. Not passive, not submissive, magnetic. Imagine this with me, my friends. A rushing river, wild and loud and scattered. That's how most people's energy feels these days. Then imagine a still, glassy lake at sunrise, silent, strong, deep. That's the woman he can't forget. That's you, when you stop trying to match the noise, and start radiating the calm. Because here's the truth, men aren't pulled toward chaos, they're pulled toward clarity. And feminine energy, in its true form, is the clearest force on earth. Now, maybe you're wondering, but if I'm not doing anything, how will he know I'm interested? Or, isn't this too subtle? Won't he just move on to someone louder, flashier? Fair questions, and I get it. We've been taught that love is something you win, something you earn by being more talkative, more responsive, more available. But the feminine doesn't win love by working harder. She invites it in by being fully present. Receptive presence is when your energy says, I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to receive you, if you're aligned. It's when you make eye contact without performing. It's when you listen without waiting to reply. It's when you feel what he's not saying and don't rush to fill the silence. And because silence isn't emptiness, silence is a space where connection breathes. And when you slow your energy, something wild happens. He starts to feel himself more around you. And guess what? That makes him want to be near you again and again and again. You're not just another voice in his day. You become his peace. Now let me hit you with this, straight from the soul. Stillness is not silence, it's power under control. It's the kind of power that doesn't ask for attention, it already has it. And here's the kicker. When you master receptive presence, you don't just attract men, you heal them. Because most men are walking around guarded, armored, tired of performing. But when they meet a woman who lets them rest in their truth, even for a moment, that woman stays in their mind like a prayer they never knew they needed. So don't be the noise he forgets. Be the stillness he can't walk away from. And up next, we're stepping into the shadows, not to fear them, but to use them. Because when you learn to embrace the hidden parts of a man, that's when obsession takes root. Stay with me. Number 4, touch his shadow without fear. Most women fear his darkness. The rare one embraces it without blinking. There's a part of every man that he keeps locked away, the part he hides behind charm, behind jokes, behind bravado and ambition. Carl Jung called it the shadow, and it's real, my friends. It's not just poetry or theory. It's the hidden basement of his soul, the place where he stores his fears, his shame, his old wounds, his unmet needs. And here's the secret. When a man finds a woman who doesn't flinch when she feels that darkness, he doesn't just desire her, he trusts her. And trust, when built on truth, becomes the foundation of real obsession. Now, I'm not talking about being his therapist or fixing his issues. No. I'm talking about being the one woman in his world who sees through the armor and doesn't need him to take it off to be worthy of love. And let me paint it for you. Imagine a man standing in the middle of a battlefield. He's been there his whole life, dodging shame, outrunning weakness, defending his value. Now picture you walking into that field, not with weapons, not with pity, but with presence. Calm, steady, open. And you say nothing. You just stand there, not afraid of the dust, not afraid of the wounds. You see the blood on his hands and say, with your energy, I still see you. That moment, that's where the bond begins. You see, most men are starving for that kind of acceptance, not for their highlight reel, but for the parts they're scared to show. The ones they've been told will make them look weak, soft, unmanly, so they hide it all in overworking and surface-level flirting and trying to control everything around them. But when a woman recognizes his shadow without judgment, when she can sense the fear behind his silence or the sadness behind his pride, and she stays grounded, that's unforgettable. Because love that only sees a man's shine is fragile, but love that holds space for his storm, That's sacred. You want to know how to spot his shadow? Watch how he reacts to vulnerability. Does he shut down when you get close? Change the subject when things get real? Overcompensate with confidence or humor? That's not just personality, that's protection. And when you stop trying to fix it and start just being with it, witnessing without shrinking, you give him something most women never do: emotional oxygen. When a man realizes he can show you his worst and still be loved, that's when he bonds for life. So no, you're not here to rescue him. You're here to respect the parts he's afraid of, not because you agree with them, but because you understand them. And here's the wild part. When you stop fearing his darkness, he starts facing it too. That's how transformation happens. Not from pushing, from presence. Because once he feels safe showing you the real him, not just the polished version, he'll never forget you. And next, we're going to talk about something most relationships lose without even knowing it: the sacred dance of polarity. That electric tension between the masculine and the feminine. Yeah, we're going there. Stay with me. Number 5, use sexual polarity to build tension, not pressure. Feminine softness doesn't mean weakness, it's voltage. There's a tension that lives between masculine and feminine energy, a sacred electric tension. And when it's alive, my friends, you don't have to ask for his attention, because his entire nervous system is already tuned to you. That tension, that sexual polarity, and without it, relationships go flat, like a speaker playing music with no bass, technically there, but missing the soul. Now let's be real. A lot of women today have been conditioned to survive in masculine energy. Do more, plan more, control more, hustle harder. And hey, sometimes you have to. The world doesn't always feel safe to be soft, so what do? We armor up. We become efficient, decisive, in control. We step into that neutral space, not too much, not too emotional, not too anything. But here's the secret no one tells you. Safety doesn't come from control. Magnetism does. When you step out of that neutral survival zone and back into your feminine field, the part of you that feels, flows, and receives, something shifts. Not just in you, in him. Because the masculine longs for direction and impact, but without the feminine to meet it, there's nowhere for his energy to go. He might admire you, respect you, even like you, but feel pulled toward you obsessively only when there's polarity. And I know what some of you might be thinking. Wait, does this mean I have to act helpless? Do I have to play dumb or pretend I can't handle things? Absolutely not. It's not about being submissive. It's about being fully expressed. Powerful women are magnetic when they stay connected to their softness, because true feminine energy isn't weak. It's wild voltage. It's the ocean, calm one moment, storming the next, always powerful, always alive. So how do you embody that in real life? You don't need a whole performance. You just need micro moments of surrender. Here's how. When he speaks, pause. Let your body be still as you receive his words. Don't just nod, feel them. When you touch him, don't rush, linger. Let your hands say what your mouth doesn't need to. When you laugh, laugh with your whole body, not your polite version. That real, unfiltered energy, he feels it. When you disagree, speak from your center, not your edge. Stay rooted, not reactive. And when you walk into a room, don't just enter like a checklist in heels. Enter like you know you're the warmth he didn't know he needed until just now. Because the feminine isn't about being quiet. It's about being felt. And when your energy drops into the body, into flow, into your breath, without chasing or gripping, he starts to feel the pull, not pressure, tension. The good kind, the kind that stretches space between you until it snaps back with intensity. That's what keeps him coming back. That's what keeps him awake in the connection. You're not here to compete with his masculinity. You're here to complement it so well, it creates chemistry that feels like fire and gravity all at once. And speaking of fire and gravity, the next step, we're not going to talk to his mind anymore. We're going to speak to the part of him that doesn't understand language at all. Stay with me. This is where it gets deep. Number 6, speak to his subconscious, not his ego. A man doesn't remember words. He remembers how you made his soul hum. Let's talk about something no one teaches in school, no dating coach tells you on TikTok, and no relationship article dares to dive into. His subconscious is where the real obsession lives. Not his ego, not his logic, his inner world, that deep emotional, symbolic ocean where meaning lives. And Jung swam every day of his life trying to map it. Carl Jung said, the unconscious speaks in symbol, image, and feeling. That means if you're always trying to connect with a man using facts, updates, and questions like, how was your day? You're talking to the wrong part of him, because that question, that lives in the head. But obsession, that's born in the gut. Let me show you. He's sitting across from you. You could say, so what do you do for fun? Sure, polite, safe. Or you could look him in the eye, let a little smile rise on your lips and say, you and me, we'd set fire to routine. He won't just hear it, he'll feel it. That's how you bypass his ego and tap into the part of him that doesn't need proof, just pulse. Now you might be wondering, isn't that weird? What if he doesn't get it? What if I sound too much? Let me be crystal clear with you, my friends. Too much is only too much to someone not ready for depth. And if he's not ready, let him go scroll through surface-level connections, because the man who is ready will lean in. His body will react before his brain catches up. He won't know why your voice stays with him, but it will. He'll remember the way you said something, even more than what you said. You're not just talking, you're creating moments that haunt him in the best way. This is where feminine magnetism goes next level. Think in image, not explanation. Think in vibe, not validation. Instead of saying, I had a stressful day, try, today felt like swimming through static. But now, sitting here, it's like the storm passed. He's not just learning about your day, he's experiencing your world. Men remember imagery. They remember the pause in your voice when you talk about something that moved you. They remember the way your eyes lingered after saying something subtle. They remember the metaphor that lit something up in their body before their mind had time to label it. So no, you don't need clever pickup lines. You need language that lingers. Speak like someone whose words leave echoes. Speak like someone who paints pictures, not resumes. Because when you do, you become unforgettable. You become the woman who he thinks about days later, not trying to remember what you said, but wondering why it's still echoing in him. And what's coming next? Oh, we're not done. Now we step into the most misunderstood feminine gift of all, the mystery. And trust me, my friend, this isn't about being confusing. It's about being unforgettable. Stay with me. Number 7, the feminine mystery is not a game, it's a gift. When he can't predict you, he can't stop thinking about you. Let's set the record straight, my friends. Mystery is not a game. It's not withholding love. It's not playing cold to gain power. And it's definitely not about acting uninterested just to get attention. That's strategy. And strategy can be seen through. But real mystery, that's depth. That's soul. That's when a man looks at you and realizes he can't quite figure you out, and he doesn't want to, because something in you invites him deeper, not with answers, but with invitation. You want to know what makes a man obsessed? It's not when he feels like he's conquered you. It's when he realizes he can't ever fully map you. Because every time he thinks he knows your rhythm, you reveal another layer, not to confuse him, but to keep him awake. Let's say you're having a deep conversation and you drop something raw, something vulnerable, something real, and instead of explaining it away or apologizing for being too much, you just pause. Let the silence land. Let your truth echo in the space. That moment, that's mystery. Or maybe you don't text him first every morning, not because you're playing a role, but because you're living your life. He feels your warmth, your presence, but you're not on call, you're not predictable. That little bit of unavailability creates space for yearning. And guess what? Men crave the thrill of discovery, not chaos, not drama, discovery. Mystery says, there's more to me, but I reveal it slowly, with intention, with trust. And don't get it twisted. This doesn't mean you hide who you are. It means you reveal who you are like chapters in a novel, not a resume on a first date. You don't have to spill every story in one sitting. You don't need to perform your past like a monologue, because the woman who knows herself doesn't need to over-explain. Her energy does the talking. Let your silence speak. Let your energy echo. Let him miss you while you're still in the room. That's the power of feminine mystery. It lingers. It stirs something in him he can't quite name. It pulls him back when the world is noisy. It stays with him when the conversation is over. And let me be honest, this is the energy most women are terrified to lean into. Why? Because it requires trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in the echo. Trust that you don't need to fill every silence or answer every question. But the women who do, the ones who carry their mystery with warmth, not manipulation, they're unforgettable. So no, you're not being distant, you're being dimensional. And next, we're going to uncover the reason why all of this, your presence, your stillness, your depth, works before you even say a word. It's time to understand the energy he feels long before the first hello. Stay with me. Number 8, you don't have to get him, you have to awaken him. You're not chasing him, you're waking him up. Let that land, my friends. This entire time, maybe you thought the goal was to get him, win him, keep him, as if he were some prize you had to earn by being cool enough, sexy enough, soft enough, everything enough. But here's the truth no one tells you. You were never meant to chase a man's love. You were meant to awaken his soul. Obsession, when rooted in need, becomes toxic. It's grasping, it's fear, it's trying to fill a void. But obsession, when rooted in sacred polarity, it's not hunger, it's heat. It's not about controlling him. It's about calling him forward. Because when a woman fully activates her energy, not just her body, but her spirit, her truth, her feminine frequency, a man doesn't just notice her. He remembers something ancient inside himself. And that, my friends, is the beginning of obsession, not for your body, but for your presence. He doesn't want to figure you out. He wants to feel more of himself with you. But here's where it all flips, and this is the part most women miss. To awaken him, you must first awaken yourself. You can't stir something in him if you're disconnected from your own source. If you're numb, rushing, pleasing, performing, he won't feel you. Not really. And no amount of makeup, text strategy, or clever flirting can fake embodied energy. So what do? You return to you and wake up your own energy first, emotionally, spiritually, sensually, not for him, for you. Take time each morning, even 5 minutes, to ground into your body. Light a candle. Move slowly. Put on music that opens something inside you. Place your hand on your heart and ask, what do I need to feel like me today? Let that energy lead. Because when you live from aliveness, you don't have to ask for attention. You are the attention. A man may not know why he's drawn to you. He may try to explain it. There's just something about her. And there is. It's your self-connected glow. It's your energy doing the talking before your mouth ever opens. When you stop begging for his attention and start embodying your essence, you become unforgettable. And not just unforgettable, undeniable. You're no longer hoping to be chosen. You are the choice. Because when a woman owns her energy fully, unapologetically, she doesn't chase love. She becomes the field where love grows. She becomes the reason a man wakes up feeling more alive, more inspired, more clear. You're not here to make him love you. You're here to remind him what love feels like in your presence. So here we are, my friends, full circle. What you've just unlocked isn't a tactic, it's a transformation. You don't have to perform, chase, or shrink to be loved. You only need to remember who you are, a woman whose energy awakens something sacred in a man. And if this stirred something in you, if you felt even one line echo through your body, then don't keep this to yourself. Like this video, subscribe for more depth-driven wisdom and share it with another woman who's ready to rise. Your energy is the magnet. Now go walk like it.